Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik with Figure It Out Productions. The following video is part of our Quick Shoot series.
Hey guys, it's Adam here and welcome to PlayLoad. This is almost all my video game pickups for the month of September 2015. And I say that for a couple of reasons. One, this game you guys already saw, and technically I got it in August, but I did a video on it recently, so I wanted to include it. And at the same time, I did a video on a bunch of other things I picked up in Seattle, which I'm not including in here because I feel it would be kind of redundant. I know there's some irony in that. And also, there's some stuff I picked up a couple of months ago that I have not included because I'm waiting for other things to arrive so that I can make appropriate videos. So I guess take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, so there you go. First thing up is a Lancer and Filia. This is a new Dreamcast release. I put the video of this out on the Dreamcast birthday. And it's been kind of a crazy month for the Dreamcast. You know, there's actually 2 Kickstarters up right now for new games. One's called Saber Rider, which I'll have a link in the description. I backed it. I'm excited about that. I hope it gets funded. At the time I put this out, it hasn't succeeded yet. It only has a couple more days, so I hope you guys will take consider looking at it and backing another Dreamcast game. It looks like a cool run and gun based on an anime from like the 80s, like a cowboy, space cowboy looking run and gun. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know anything about the anime. The other one is called Alice Dreams Tournament, I think is what it's called. And it's very much like a Bomberman type of game. That one has been funded. However, if you want to back that one as well, you probably can add all the stretch goals and that type of good stuff. So take a look if you're at all interested. So yeah, anyway, new Dreamcast stuff is great. There was some game that was an Xbox One game that got ported to the Dreamcast as well. I want to say like Volgar the Viking. I'm sorry if I'm getting the name wrong, but yeah, I hope that gets like a pressed nice release. We'll see if it happens. And there's a new wireless Dreamcast controller. Don't know if I'll ever get one of those though. It's pretty expensive, but it'd be very neat to check out anyway. So yeah, crazy month for the Dreamcast. But other new releases, let's take a look here. We got Until Dawn for the PS4. On my other channel, Game Society Pimps, we've actually done 2 videos on this. This is a cool interactive cinema. Okay, it's not so much a game, and I know that people might have issue with that, but that's not what this game is trying to be. It's trying to be interactive cinema, at least from what I noticed, from what I've played of it. You basically make a bunch of choices, and you have to, get the characters to survive a horror movie, essentially. Pretty cool game. Now, what's also cool about it is the way I got it. It's a $60 game, and I posted about this on my Instagram. Okay, so I do this every once in a while on my Instagram. If I find like deals, I will post them on there so that people can check them out. So if you want to, I'll put a link in the description for my Instagram. You can follow me there. But anyway, in this particular case, what happened was, okay, it's a $60 game, and the week after it came out, Best Buy screwed up their ad, like their weekly ad that they put out, and they said it was $39.99. Now, they noticed immediately that that was a problem, so all the digital versions, they just updated back to $59.99. But all the ones that were in paper, they couldn't update so easily. They'd already been shipped out to stores and stuff. So what a lot of people were saying was, the day it came out, like, go over there and hope for the best. Because a lot of stores were either aware of the problem, they had signs posted they weren't honoring it, or the employees knew just to not accept it. So in my case, I went to Best Buy, and I found the paper ad. It was the only one they had left, and they had it, printed for $39.99. So I went and grabbed the game, and I walked up to them, and they price adjusted. So that was awesome. So it was going to be $40, but then I have Gamers Club Unlocked, which automatically gives you 20% off of all video games at Best Buy. So then it dropped down to $32, which was great. And then on top of that, when I was checking out, the woman at the register is like, you have some unused Reward Zone points. Reward Zone points is like every time you buy something, you spend $1, you get a point or whatever. Once you get enough points, they give you coupons, right? So with those coupons applied, I ended up getting the game for $16. Not bad at all. So that was definitely awesome. Also, got Super Mario Maker. This game, again, had a really cool deal on it, though I didn't actually partake in this deal. I just told people about it on my Instagram. So Best Buy, again, had this really awesome situation where if you put this game in your cart, you could add Splatoon, Super Smash Bros., or Mario Kart 8, and it would automatically take $20 off of each and every one of them, depending on which combination you wanted. So you would end up, instead of getting all of those for $60 a piece, you'd end up getting them all for $40 a piece. So that's a nice $60 savings grand total. However, it was also stackable with Gamers Club Unlocked, so then you'd get 20% off of all 4 of them. So when you do the math, if you got all 4 games, you were actually saving about $100, which was impressive. So I told people about it, and I know some people did it. Most people probably didn't. But yeah, I like to find deals like that and share them with people. So yeah, that's how I got. I didn't get this game specifically that way. I got it for $47 because of Gamers Club Unlocked. But the game itself is really cool. It just kills me because this game could dominate YouTube like Minecraft does. I mean, it's tailor-made for it. Think about it. The whole game is people developing their own levels in this really classic franchise. You could make videos on your level and then put, like, you know, the download code in the description, and people could download the video or download the game and check it out themselves. And it's just, it could be so popular. It could be so popular if it weren't for Nintendo's ridiculously antiquated, you know, YouTube policies. I just feel bad for them, because if they had somebody in there who realized that, this game could fix the Wii U in a lot of ways. Not completely, but man, they could have so many more sales out of that console if they didn't do that shit. But that's what they do. I also got Wipeout Create and Crash for the Wii U. This is based on a game show of the same name. It's a North American exclusive title, actually. Funny thing about this one is I actually have had it for a while. I completely forgot about it. It like slipped through the cracks, and I meant to show you. I actually did a couple videos of this again on my other channel, which you can see there if you want. Not a bad game, actually, considering what it is. But yeah, just sorry. I forgot to show you guys this one. I've had it for a couple months now, and I forgot about it. I also got The Voice, I Want You. Nothing special about this, except that Best Buy was clearing it out. $10 clearance plus 20% off, so it was like $8 for this, and it comes with a microphone and some other stuff. The game itself I have no real interest in. It's just a collector's piece thing. So I also got a bunch of retro stuff, which was really nice to do, because especially for some consoles I never get games for, or platforms, I guess I should say in this case. These are both Game Boy Color games: Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages, Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Seasons. What's cool about that is I've been looking for, I've been trying to hunt down a lot of the Legend of Zelda stuff for quite some time now, and it was very nice to finally get those. And I also got Super Mario Land for the Game Boy. This is kind of cool for me because I have not bought a brand new Game Boy game since I was 9 years old. I have had the same 5 games all that time, and they finally added a 6th game, which was really awesome. I absolutely love the sequel to this, Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins. I played the shit out of that when I was a kid, so it was really nice to finally get this one. I should mention that these, as well as pretty much everything else you're going to see here, all came from basically the same place. I was in Madison, Wisconsin. I work up there a lot, and I had a spare day, so I kind of ran around to some of their retro stores and their used CD type of stores, and I got some decent deals, so I was pretty happy with that. The next thing up here I got was Sparkster for the Sega Genesis. This was really cool to find. I've been looking for this for a really long time. This is a platformer. It's actually the sequel to Rocket Knight Adventures, which is a really good game that's not very well known unless you're basically a fan of the Genesis or Mega Drive. And it did have a sequel that most people don't know about. This game seems to be a little bit more common in Europe and in Japan. Here it's very, very hard to find. One of the more expensive games sometimes goes between like 80 to 90. They wanted 30 for it, boxed complete, so I definitely grabbed that because I was very, very happy to find it at all, much less for that price. So definitely cool to get that. I got Kirby's Adventure for the NES. This is, as I understand it, I think it's actually the last game on the NES that was developed by Nintendo themselves. And I think it came out in '93. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, it's supposed to have pushed the NES more than like any other game ever did. People said it was actually very impressive from a technical standpoint, so it's very cool to have that. Plus, I really love the character and the franchise. Now they also had. All right, so I'll show you this. We got Dig Dug for the Atari 7800. Now, this is not uncommon. I go to a lot of used media stores, and they'll often have like bins that are just labeled Atari very generically. Because most people, when they think of Atari, they think of the Atari 2600. The Atari 2600 and the Atari 7800, their game cartridges are essentially identical in shape. So people often just think they're the same thing. So I'll see these stores where they'll have these giant bins full of the same old Atari 2600 shit. You know, like E.T., Space Invaders, just tons and tons of copies of all the same crap. But every once in a while, you'll see an Atari 7800 game in there. And I don't have that many Atari 7800 games because there frankly aren't that many. And in this case, I noticed one, so I was like, oh, sweet, and I grabbed it. And then I kept digging and I noticed more. So I actually got a shit ton of Atari 7800 games, which was awesome because they were all labeled like 50 cents, $1. Like some of them were $1. Like they were in a bargain bin. So here's what we got. Galaga, Real Sports Baseball, Choplifter, Hat Trick, which apparently is a hockey game, though it really doesn't look like it. The picture does, but the name makes no sense. Hat Trick? I mean, maybe someone who's more familiar with hockey would know why it would be called that. I don't know. Robotron 2084, Karateka, One-on-One with Julius Erving and Larry Bird, Super Huey UH-1X, or that might be 9, and Joust. So that's all pretty good, right? That's not too bad. Well, I also got a couple others. Donkey Kong Jr., and Mario Bros. Yes, Nintendo made games for the Atari 7800. Actually, also for the Atari 2600 and 5200. In fact, this one is on all three of them. And no, in case you're curious, this is not the same game that we all associate with the NES. It is a very different game. It's the arcade games. You know, it's the one with like the pipes and the turtles come out, and you have to like hit the POW button to like flip them over. Very different game. But yeah, very, very cool to pick those up because those are not common. And yeah, I got a nice Atari 7800 collection here now. Now, I also picked up a bunch of original Xbox stuff, which is probably not a surprise if you've seen those Seattle videos I did. That was what I was in the mood to find. And when I got back here, yeah, it's still what I was in the mood to look for, especially because I read this article that kind of freaked me out a little. It basically said that a lot of people have kind of figured out that the original Xbox tends to have a lot of the best versions of games in that generation, that the games are super cheap, and of course you couple with that the buzz about the possibility of original Xbox backwards compatibility coming to the Xbox One. People have started to go after original Xbox stuff, so it seems like the days of this stuff being cheap might be coming to an end, so I kind of wanted to jump a little bit on that and just start grabbing more of these things. So I got this piece of shit, Catwoman, based on one of the worst comic book movies of all time. So it's very fitting that EA made the game, I guess. But yeah, so I got that. I got Commandos 2, Men of Courage, Red Faction 2, Doom 3, Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil, Mech Assault 2, Lone Wolf, Full Spectrum Warrior, Full Spectrum Warrior 10 Hammers, Great Escape, which is kind of interesting that we got this one, because this is based on a movie from, like, I think it was the 60s or the 70s, and that happens a lot in Europe. They'll get some American movie or some American television show and make a game about it, like 20, 30 years later, for the PS2 and Xbox especially. We didn't really get that many of those, but in this case we got this one. I'm not really sure why. Psychonauts, which is actually a really cool game. I know it was on the PS2. I don't know if it was on the GameCube. It probably was. Definitely one to look into. It was a pretty sweet game. Shark Tale, based on that. Do you guys remember that like shitty Will Smith like animated movie? Robert De Niro shark back there. Yeah, that movie sucked. Star Trek Shattered Universe. Syberia II, which was finally, it was nice to finally get this because I've been looking for this one for a while. The first one I see all the time, but the second one it doesn't pop up very often. Very cool. Thrillville, which is one of the last original Xbox games. This actually had a Xbox 360 version as well. Ultra Bust a Move. I also got Winning 11-8 and Winning 11-9, both soccer games. Nothing special about these except that it was funny. A guy actually sent me the PAL versions of these because I thought they were exclusives. It turns out they weren't. A lot of people said like, no, they just had a different name here, so that was my mistake. So when I saw these, I was like, all right, I'm just go ahead and get those. So there you go. Also got Jet Set Radio Future. Now, I actually have this game, but like most people, I have the combo version, the one that comes with Sega GT. This game is weird because that version is super common. People see that all the time. But there was actually a standalone version of the game that was just by itself. And this version is pretty rare. It doesn't show up very often. And shout out to my buddy Anthony Garcia, lives in LA, because he was telling me he wanted this. Haha, sorry dude, I got it. If I see another copy, I'll grab it for you. But yeah, so this, I don't know what the deal with this one was, because every time I see this, and maybe it's just me, maybe other people, they don't see this, but every time I find one of these, it's always in a black case, or it has a printed cover, or like, when I say black case, I mean like the plastic case is a black DVD case, or a Blockbuster case, which leads me to believe that this was never actually sold. It was just
a rental thing that like Hollywood Video and Blockbuster had, and then they eventually sold it themselves, but you never had like the actual legitimate green case on it. In this instance, what I did was I just took like a sports game and just swapped it out. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking happened with this game, but I actually don't know that for sure. If anyone can confirm that, I'd love to know. And finally, for the original Xbox, I got this piece of shit. Barbie Horse Adventures Wild Horse Rescue. Now, this is a pretty funny game because it sucks ass. We did a video on this on my other channel. You can check that out as well if you want to see the gameplay. But the only thing that makes this interesting and why we would end with this, as far as the Xbox games go, is this is actually like the second rarest game in the North American library. I know. The first is Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, but this game is actually super, super uncommon. Now, it's not very valuable. This is only the second time I'd ever seen it in my life, ever. First time I saw it was a disc-only copy, and they wanted like 80 bucks for it, which I was like, fuck that. I ended up getting this for 20, boxed and complete, which is, yes, more money than I wanted to pay, but when you consider the fact that it is surprisingly rare for some damn reason, I picked it up. Now, there is a PS2 version of this, which is not rare at all, but yeah. I fucking hate when games like Barbie become rare ones, because it sucks to have to pay a lot of money for games like that. And then, like, good ones, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't know. That's collector's problem, I guess, but there you go. Barbie Horse Adventures. I also got a couple of packages here, which I'm going to open up and show you. This one, first, this comes from the Bahar Bros, which they're from Turkey. They sent this to me for free. They just contacted me and said, like, hey, you know, we've done an updated model of this thing, and we're just going to send it to you as a freebie for mentioning us so many times in your videos. Now, basically, if you're not familiar with them, they make Dreamcast VGA boxes, like aftermarket ones. And that's really cool, because when it comes to the Dreamcast, the best way to get video quality out of it is to use VGA cables. VGA has been around for a long time. It's just a cable. You plug it in the back of the console, and then you plug it into your television or monitor. But the ones that Sega made back in the day are not very common. You just don't see them very often. So these guys have been making new ones, which is awesome because it helps bring the prices down. But they also added a bunch of sweet bonus features. Now, I've done videos on, multiple times on their particular boxes. So there's really no reason to do a separate video on this because, as I understand it, they only made one slight change. So what I'm going to do is open it up and show it to you. All right, let's lift this up here. Inside we have this, of course, the unit. And here it is. It is the Toro. Now, I've done a whole video on the Toro already, but like I said, this is a slightly updated version. Let's take a look inside here. It comes with a couple little devices here, little cables, and then the box itself. So yeah, there's the Toro. Now, what's sweet about the Toro is basically this part right here. Now, that's RGB SCART. Now, I'm just going to do this really quick. Dreamcast games, almost all of them support VGA mode, and it looks phenomenal. However, there are some games that don't support it. So what people will do is they'll go back to composite, or sometimes they'll use S-Video. But really, the best option for those particular games is to use RGB SCART. But that was never really easy. But this box is, why it's great is because you'll have VGA on board, and you have SCART on board, and just with a flick of one of these switches, you go between the two, so you never have to like take the thing out and switch and stuff, which is really, really cool. But the upgrade they did here is that a lot of people were saying that they wanted scanline options for both VGA and SCART. I guess the previous one only had it for VGA. Now you can have scanlines in your RGB SCART. I gotta be honest, it doesn't really affect me that much because I don't really enjoy scanlines, but it is nice that they added it, and so I thought you guys would like to see it. It also comes with these, and if I understand correctly, what you do is you just take these cables and you plug them into the appropriate point, and then you can swap them out with other parts, and basically use this as a scanline generator for other devices. Since I haven't reviewed it formally yet, I'm not 100% sure of that, but that's how the Hanzo was, and that was one that they made. It came with cables like this. You would swap them out and swap in other ones, and you could just use this as a scanline generator. Since the new feature is a scanline generator, it would make sense that that is in fact the case. So thank you to the Bahar Bros for that. If you want to check out their website and see if there's any Dreamcast VGA boxes that interest you there, I'll put a link in the description. The other thing I got here is a package from Ubisoft. Yes, Ubisoft, the game company. Now, here's the thing, guys. I did a couple of videos earlier this month that a lot of you guys didn't really check out. It kind of made me sad because I only made them for you. I got flown out to Los Angeles to play Rainbow Six Siege, and then I came back and made like a behind-the-scenes video of what those kind of events are like. Then they flew me out to San Francisco to play Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and again, I made a video of what those kind of things are like. I showed some gameplay, all that good stuff. Again, if you want to check them out, feel free. But they sent me this as a thank you for having attended the Rainbow Six Siege event, which they did not have to do since they paid for everything else. There was really no reason for them to send me this, but they did it anyway. So I thought, I don't even know what's in here. Let's just go ahead and open it up, and I'll show you guys. So this one, I don't think I need to cut here because it's all flimsy, breakable case. Let's just see what's in here. We have a note of some kind, which maybe I shouldn't show you that in case. Yeah, I don't know. I better not. I don't know exactly what's in that. Whoa, dude, this is Jesus. Look at this. They sent me a jacket for Rainbow Six Siege. Look at the MSRP on that. It's a $120 jacket for the game. Look at this. Wow. Sorry, I'm just really surprised. Like I was expecting maybe a T-shirt or something. I didn't think they'd send like a big jacket thing. Look at this. That's really cool. Look at this. It's like a hoodie slash jacket. Give me a second. I'm gonna cut and I'll get this thing all set up. Sorry about that. So yeah, it's basically like a jacket. It's like a thin jacket here. It's got this Rainbow Six Siege logo on it, and then yeah, it's got pockets and all sorts of cool stuff. On the side it says Ubisoft there. On the back, it just shows the Rainbow Six Siege logo. That's really cool. Like I said, I thought maybe they were sending like a T-shirt or something. I didn't expect this really expensive-ass jacket. Jesus, I'm going to have to send them a thank you message. That's just amazing they did that. Sorry about the jump cut there. I was in post editing the video, and I got a package, and because it's late and I was tired, I wasn't really thinking. I just opened the package, and I was like, oh, damn it. All right, I need to include this in the video. Look at that. Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection. This is the full retail copy, the one you'd buy at stores. I was sent this as a media copy, basically by Sony and by Naughty Dog. I'll be making a video of this on my other channel, Game Society Pimps. Well, more accurately, my other channel will be making it for Machinima. It will appear on the Machinima main channel. But yeah, this is the full game. I just basically got my hands on it early. Uncharted the Nathan Drake collection is all three of the original Uncharted games for the PlayStation 3, remastered for the PlayStation 4. So that's what the front's going to look like, obviously. There's the side. There's the back, basically indicating all three games, giving some details about it and so on. It also has this, in case you're curious. In these pre-copies, they tend to cut out this part of the scanner there. That way I guess you can't resell it, which I don't know. I would never do that, so it's whatever. In case anybody's curious, they're claiming it'd take 50 gigabytes. On the inside, we have this little piece of paper here, which the other side has details regarding the multiplayer beta, so I'm not going to show you that, if you know what I mean. And the other one is, of course, the disc here. So there you go. Very nice. So thank you guys for watching this. Thank you again to Sony and Naughty Dog for this. Thank you to Ubisoft for that jacket, which I had more time to look at that. That's actually a really high quality jacket. That's probably why it was so expensive. And thank you again to the Bahar Bros. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all later.